Hello everyone, hope all of you are doing great. And in today's video, we're going to discuss paper 2, unit 3, which is all about decimals, percentages, and rounding. Okay, so the first question here, it says, in each box write one of the signs in each box to make a correct statement. So the first one over here, as you know, we must compare first to the whole number, which is zero here and zero there. Then I continue the comparison a digit by digit after the decimal point. The first decimal place here is zero. The first decimal place here is zero. Then you continue. The second decimal place four. The second decimal place four. Then you continue. The third decimal place here, it is a zero that is not written. The third decimal place here is a zero that is written. So actually they are equal. So the next one here, the first decimal place has a four. The first decimal place has a zero. Definitely this is greater. The first decimal place has a four. The first decimal place here has a four. Second decimal place has a zero. Second decimal place has a four. This is definitely greater. Mister, this doesn't make any sense. This is 0.404, which is kind of like 404, while this is 44 only. No, actually, if you put a zero over here, which means nothing, if you're going to think about it this way, that will make this 404, 440. So make sure that they have the same number of decimals if you want to compare this way. If you want to compare 440, 440, yes, that will actually lead you to a correct answer. So just make sure that they have the same number of decimal places. All right, next. Question two. A garage sells vehicles, 40% of the vehicles for sale are vans. So 40% of them are vans. 25% of the vans are red. The garage has 12 red vans. So they're saying to you 25% of the vans are red. How many red vans? 12. So as if they're saying to you 25% of the vans are 12. So what's the total number of vans? The quarter is 12. Then the total is what? 48. Oh, طب mister, I don't know how to do that. It's just 12 divided by this, as if you're saying here 25% of, which means times something is 12. That thing is the total number of vans. How can I find it? 12 divided by 25%. But actually, mentally, you should know that quarter of a number is 12, is just multiply the 12 by 4, which is going to give you 48. So 48 vans in total. Okay, so 40% of the vehicles are vans. Are vans? We found out that we have 48 vans. Exactly. So are 48. So what is the total number of vehicles? This is the question. Okay, so it means I must have 40% times, see now, V, which is the number of vehicles, equals 48. What is V? 48 divided by 40%. This is paper 2. Feel free to use the calculator. So 48 divided by, even if you write 40% this way, equals 120 vehicles. And by the way, even if you decided to do the same thing here, 25% of something is 12. So 12 divided by 25%, if you want to use the calculator for that, fine. But it's also important that you know how to do this without a calculator. That's why I did it the first time without a calculator. So it is 12 divided by 25% equals 48. All right, let's erase this. Let's continue. The next question. The population of a city is this big number. Round the population to the nearest thousand. Nearest thousand is here. The eight. Eight is the thousands. Look at the digit after it. It is stronger, mister. So 2, 4, 9, 0, 0, 0. The city covers an area of, round the area to one decimal place. One decimal place. The digit after it is weak. So it is 5, 2.7 stays the same. They wanted to put them in order from smallest to largest. No problem at all. I'm going to put them in order from smallest to largest. How? First, I need to make sure that all of them have the same unit. So I'm going to remind you of something that you took in year 6, which is the conversion between the units. How can we do that? If I have here kilometer, and I have here meters, centimeters, millimeters, and I want to convert between them. If you want from kilometer to meter, you multiply by 1,000. While from meter to centimeter, you multiply by 100. And from centimeter to millimeter, you multiply by 10. If you wanted the opposite direction, you're going to do the same thing exactly, but division, not multiplication. So you're going to divide by 10. You're going to divide by 100. You're going to divide by 1,000. All right, so here, I'm going to convert all of them, mister, into meters, okay? Or centimeters, whatever you want. Just to choose the closest to the middle between all of them. So it's either meters or centimeters. All right, so converting it into meters, multiplying this by 1,000. See, from kilometers to meters, multiply by 1,000. So it's going to be exactly 75 meters. And here it is going to be, it as it is. I'm not going to change a thing about it. So it's just 7.6 meters. And this divided, what are we going to do from centimeter to meter? Centimeter to meter divided by 100. So it's going to be 0.77 meters. And from millimeter to meter, I'm going to divide the mister by 10, then divide by 100, which is dividing it by 1,000 from millimeter to meter. So dividing by 1,000 is going to be 0.78 meters. All right, let's do this. Arrange them from the smallest to the largest. The smallest of them all, you're going to find that it's this one, 0.77. So I'm going to write 77 centimeters. After it is this one, 780 millimeters. Then I got this one, which is 7.6 meter. And the largest is 0.075 kilometer. Next question. In this question, it's saying to you, the diagram shows a star inside a square of side length 8 centimeters. The star covers 40% of the area of the square. Okay, the same star is placed inside a rectangle with width 8 centimeters. But let's first find here the area. The question is not over, but before I go down, I need to find first what? What is the area of the square? To find 40% of it, area of the square is side by side. So A equals area of a square equals 64 centimeters squared, right? While the area of the star, area of star equals 64, but it is 40% of it, mister. So 40% of what? Of 64. You have enough space down there, but I don't want to go down because it's going to hide the top part. So use the empty space that is down there. So area of the star is going to be what? 40% of 64 is going to be what? Well, it's paper 2. You don't need, in paper 1, you learned how to practice this without a calculator, but paper 2, don't waste your time on calculating things. So I'm going to just do 0.40, which is 40%, multiplied by 64 is going to be exactly 25.6 centimeters squared. 25.6 centimeters squared. This is the area of the star. So I'm going to go down here and write area of the star. 25.6 centimeters squared. This is not the answer to the question. I need to continue reading here. The length of the rectangle is 60% longer than the width. The width is 8, so length of rectangle equals what? 8 centimeters times, what is the multiplier of 60% longer? It is 1.6. 160%, which is 1.6, equals what? The new length of the multiplier, the new length of the rectangle, 8 times 1.6. I found it, Mr. that it is 12.8. So 12.8 is the length of the rectangle. It's 60% longer than 8, so 8 times 1.6, the multiplier. Okay, good, no problem. Someone might do 60% times 8, which is 0.6 times 8, then you add it to 8, it's going to give you the same thing exactly as 12.8. Good. Now, what is the area of the rectangle? Area of rectangle equals 12.8 length times width, which is 8. Use the calculator. 12.8 times 8 equals 102.4. 102.4 centimeters squared. This is the area of the rectangle. Good. They want you to calculate the percentage of the rectangle that the star covers. Well, what does the star cover? The star covers is 25.6 centimeters squared. And what is the whole thing? Is 102.4. So what percentage is the star covering? I do 25.6 over 102.4. That's 25.6 out of 102.4, but they want the percentage, then I multiply by 100. So the percentage of what the star covers is what? It's covering a 25.6 out of 102.4. Then you multiply by 100 equals, let's do it. Let's get here a fraction. 25.6 over 102.4, then multiply by 100 equals 25% exactly. So the star is covering 25% of the rectangle, and this is the answer. It is worth 3 marks, as you see, because it includes a lot of steps. All right, let's continue. Here, they're saying to you, what percent of 250 equals 75? Mister, this is very simple, as if they're saying to me, what times 250 equals 75? I'm going to do 75 divided by 250. Okay, let's do it. 75 divided by 250. Is that it, mister? Not really. Why? Because they want the percentage. If they want the percentage, then you're going to multiply by 100 times 100 equals 30% exactly. While here, this is saying 75% times what? Equals 300. It's the same emitter. So I'm going to do what? 300 divided by 75%, which is 0.75, equals 400. Good. Someone might say to me, Mister, uh, shouldn't we multiply by 100 like we did up there? No, we multiplied by 100 up there because they wanted the percentage. But here, they don't want the percentage. So 75% of what is 300? 75% of 400. I'm going to do just 300 divided by 0.75 or 300 divided by 75% of the calculator. It is going to be 400 right away. Round this to two significant figures. Two significant figures. The first significant figure is the first non-zero figure. So 1, 2. So the digit after the 5 is 3, which is weak, 0.045. The second significant figure here is the 6. So the digit after it is strong. So it is 1, 7, and I got 0, 0, 0. All right, in question 8 here, they're saying to you that Mia buys 50 coats at $28 each. That is the buying price, that's the cost. She sells 38 of these coats at $49 each, and she sells the rest of the coats at $40 each. Find the overall percentage profit Mia has made on these coats. Well, first I need to find how much did she pay in order to get the coats. And we found here that she bought it for $28 each. So it is 50 times 28, and we found that it is $1,400. The selling price, how much did she get when she sold that? Well, she sold the 38 by 49, so 38 times 49. And the rest of the coats are at $40 each. So the rest is what? The rest of the coats, she sold the $38, 38 coats, while the rest is going to be 12 because the total is 50. So 12 times 40, they said. You're going to find that the selling price is 2,342. What is the profit? Well, the profit is how much more money did she make over the coast. She paid $1,400 to get this, but after selling the coats, she got that. You're going to find that the profit that she made is $942, minusing the cost and the selling price. You're going to find that it is she got exactly profited of $942. Okay, what is the percentage profit? The percentage profit is 942, which is the profit itself, over the cost, which is 1,400, multiplied by 100, because they wanted the percentage, and we agreed. If you're going to calculate the percentage of something, you're going to need to multiply by 100. So doing this, you're going to find that it is 67.28, a lot of stuff on your calculator. So rounding it to one decimal place, you're going to find that it is 67.3. 67.3. Let me percent. Here, 3.15 multiplied by 0.04 is the same as 3.15 times what divided by 100? Mister, it is the same exactly as if you're multiplying 3.15 by 4, and the answer is divided by 100. That's the same exactly. Because if you see 4 divided by 100 is going to lead you to 0.04. Rajiv puts $2,400 in a savings account. 1 year later, it is worth $2,580. Work out the annual rate. Rate, yes, means percentage. Okay, that's why the answer here has the percentage sign. Exactly. So doing that, how do we do it? we just find the difference between both of them, the absolute change. What is the change that happened? The change that happened in Mr. is 2,580 minus 2,400. Then you divide it by the old price, the old value, which is 2,400. Then you multiply by what? 100, because they want percentage. So the difference of both of them, which is 180 divided by 2,400 multiplied by 100. Let's do it. We said 180 over 2,400, and the answer at the end I multiply by 100 will give you exactly 7.5. If you press SD, is going to be 7.5%. 40% of a number is 80. Find 55% of this number. Well, one second, Mr. We did it before when we said 40% of something is 80, and we agreed that of means multiplication, right? So what is that number? We agreed I'm going to do 80 divided by 40%. Is going to help you find this. So let's do it. 80 divided by 0.4 equals 200. Mister, the number is actually 200. So what is 55% of this number? 55% of 200 equals what? This is the question that they're asking. You can do it 200 times 0.55. Here you go. 110. Next, rounded to three significant figures. So the third significant figure here is the 1. After it is a weak digit, so it's going to be 0.00451. I'm not going to round it up. Here, the third significant figure is the 8, so it is 779, because after it is a strong digit, 779, and then I have here 0, 0, 0. 0.0, Mister. Yes, but if they are requesting something in the whole number section, so we don't write the decimal point. This one, they want you to choose the correct symbol from the list for each of these statements. Which one is greater? We agreed you compare the first decimal place with the first decimal place. This one is greater because the whole is the same. All right, here the whole is 4, the whole is 4, the first decimal place with the first decimal place, this is greater. The whole and the whole, the same. First decimal place is 6, first decimal place 6, second decimal place 0, second decimal place 0, they are equal. Draw a ring around the value of the 4. It's 4 in the thousandth place, so it is 4,000th. Correct 2 decimal places, you need to use the calculator to find the value of this, and then you round the answer to 2 decimal places. So 45 divided by 13 equals SD, 2 decimal places, so it's 3.46, because the digit after the 6 is weak, so it's 3.46. While the next one is going to be 103 divided by 15. Sorry, I did times. 103 divided by 15 equals 6.86, a lot of sixes. So 6.8, and they wanted to correct 2 decimal places, so I'm going to be 6.87, because after this 6 is another 6, which means that it is a stronger digit, so I'm going to round it up, 6.87. The last one here, which is 17 divided by 11, 1.544545454. So what is going to be there? So 1.55, because after this 4 is another 5 you're going to find on your calculator. So it is 1.55. The original price of a television is reduced by 25%. This new price is then increased by 25%. Calculate the price of the television now as a percentage. So they want the multiplier of the compounded percentage. They want the multiplier. So reduced by 25%, that means 0.75. Okay. But here they want also times increased by 25% times 1.25. Mister, they want a percentage. Okay, that's a different story. Mr. Ahmed said if they want a percentage, you must multiply at the end by 100. So this only will give you the multiplier, the multiplier for the compound percentages. Excellent, but the multiplier, we're used to having it as a decimal. They want it as a percentage. Multiply by 100, it will get it back to percentage. We agreed whenever they request a percentage, multiply by 100. So let's do this. 0.75 times 1.25 times 100 equals 93.75. 93.75%. The diagram shows a square split into congruent triangles. Work out the percentage of the square that is shaded. Mister, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 8. So it is 5 out of 8. Good. They want it as a percentage, mister. So I'm going to do on the calculator 5 over 8 multiplied by 100. We agreed whenever they want a percentage, we multiply the answer at the end by 100. 5 over 8 times 100 equals 125 over 2, which is going to give you exactly 62.5%. Mia buys a car for $12,500. She sells it to Chen for $16,000. Calculate Mia's percentage profit. No problem at all. The percentage profit, we have just answered a similar question to this. What is the profit that she made? Well, she made it, Mr. 3,500. I'm going to do it 16 minus 12,500, which is the change at the top end, over the original price. Then they want it as a percentage, Mr. So multiply by 100 at the end. Equals, you're going to find that this will give you exactly 3,500 over 12,500 times 100 equals a 28% exactly. But the saying to you here that Chen sells the car to Gabriella, he makes a loss of 5%. He loses 5%. So Chen actually got what he sold. She sold the car to Chen for $16,000. But Chen lost 5%. Calculate the price Gabriella pays for the car. So Chen sold the car for Gabriella, but he lost 5% of the price. So it is 16,000. That's the price that he paid. He lost from it 5%, so which means reduce 5%. So the multiplier is 0.95 equals 16,000 times 0.95, $15,200. This is the price that Gabriella pays. Write a positive number in each box to make each statement true. 0.8 multiplied by what will give you an answer that is less than 0.8. We practiced this a lot in the workbook and in paper 1 as well. You're going to find that 0.8 multiplied by what is 0.8 is going to give you an answer that is smaller than 0.8. It must be a number that is smaller than 1. So 0 point anything that you want. 0 point whatever you want. 0.1, Mr. Correct. 0 point whatever you want. I'm going to multiply it by 0.5. That is going to give you an answer that is smaller than 0.8. Good? But next, 1.3 divided by what is smaller? Well, Mr., we know that division in normal is going to be smaller. That's if I'm dividing by greater than 1. So divide by anything that is greater than 1. It's definitely smaller than 1.3. Anything, right to, fine. Okay? They just, all what they care about is that it's a positive number. So 1.3 divided by anything bigger than 1 will definitely be smaller. But here, 8 divided by what is greater than 80? Okay, that's a different thing here. If you remember, we said the smaller the number is here, the greater the answer becomes here. If it's smaller than 1. So like, for example, if you multiply by, let's say, 0.1, do you remember what we used to say? We used to say what? Dividing by 10th is the same as multiplying by 10. Okay, so now this is equal to 80 exactly, but how can I make it greater than 80? You must put something that is smaller than 0.1. Yeah, Mr. Rawat, is there anything in the world that is smaller than 0.1? Definitely, yes. If you just put even a 0 here, that is going to make it smaller than 1. It's smaller than 0.1. And if you divide 8 by 0.01, that is going to be much bigger than 80. You want to try it on the calculator? You're allowed to do so. 8 divided by 0.01 equals 800, because we agreed it's the same as the multiplying by 100. So this is the same as multiplying by 100, which is 800. Minibuses are used to take 142 people to a wedding. One minibus can hold 17 people. Work out the number of minibuses that are needed. Well, they are used to take 142 people to a wedding. Okay, so I have 142 people. But each minibus can take only 17 people. How many buses are needed? I'm going to say 142 divided by 17 equals 8 point a lot of digits. So, Mr. Can I say 8.5 buses or something? No, 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 no. If it's even if it's 8.1, then I'm gonna round up. It is 9 buses, 9 minibuses. Work out 45% of $285. 45% of this, no problem at all. It's just 0.45 times 285 is going to give me the answer. Let's do it. Equals $128.25. Eva buys a book for $5. She sells it for 6.50. Work out the percentage profit. Mister, this means I wanted the change. We've just answered like 5 questions so far that are the same. Minus 5, which is 1.5, mister. Yes, excellent. Over the old price, which is 5. Times 100. They want percentage, mister. If they requested the percentages you see here, we must multiply the final answer by 100. So 6.5 minus 5 is 1.5 over, we agreed here it was 5 times 100 gives you 30%. The percentage profit is 30%. Here, write decimal numbers in the spaces to make a true statement. They want a number that is bigger than this and less than this, or actually something that is in between. They want anything that is in between. Mister, can I make it simpler for me just by making them have three decimal places, all of them? No problem at all. You can make this have also three decimal places. Okay, but finding something 0.009 between 0.009 and 0.010, how can I find this? Well, as if you're saying between 0.0090 and 0.0100. So as if you're saying between 90 and 100, anything in between. Okay, so if I put here 0.009, let's say 1 or 2 or 3 until 99 is going to be in between. Yes, exactly. All right. And here, 0.0100, as if this is 100. Can I put here a zero as well? Yes, you can. The zero at the end means nothing. So between 100 and 110, put any value. 0.0. Can I say, Mr. 101? Yes, it's between 100 and 110. Gonna be correct. Can I say 105? Yes, it's between 100 and 110. Whatever you put here that is between 0.0 and then between 100 and 110 is going to work. Here, I need to do that. So 6.3 times what equals, what is 60.9 times 3? 60.9 times 3 equals 182.7. 182.7. How can I find the answer? Do 182.7 divided by 6.3. 182.7 divided by 6.3 equals 29. So the answer is 29. Round this correctly to one decimal place is going to be answer 10.7. One decimal place after it is stronger digits, so 10.7. Here, corrected two decimal places. Two decimal places is 3.46 because after it is a weak digit, so it remains the same. In 1975, the population of lions in Africa was 250,000. But in 2015, the population became this. In Africa, the population of lions in Africa was 30,000. It got reduced a lot. Calculate the percentage decrease. How can I calculate it, Mr.? Get the difference between both of them. So it is 250,000 minus 30,000 over the old, which is 250,000 times 100. Just like calculating the percentage profit, Mr. Exactly. Just like calculating the percentage profit, I calculate the percentage decrease, the percentage increase, the rate, just to find the change over the original amount or the original value. Okay, so what is this going to be? Let's do it on the calculator. Here, 250 minus 30 is going to be 220. So 220,000 over 250,000 times 100 equals 88% decrease. 88%. I found the percentage change through minusing the two values over the original value times 100 because they want a percent. Pierre says that the answer is 0.9. Oh, okay, here they're saying to work out 0.3 squared. Pierre says that the answer is 0.9 without working out the exact answer. Why Pierre is wrong? Explain why Pierre is wrong. Mister, because simply the answer must have what? Two decimal places. So don't say to them because the answer is supposed to be 0.09. No. Here I know that this is zero point 0.3 times zero point 0.3. The answer definitely must have two decimal places. That's what they want to hear from you. They don't want you to put the exact answer. A number x rounded to the nearest to 100 is 1,500. Find the inequality, complete the inequality. Oh, mister, that's the lower and the upper bounds. Exactly. Nearest to 100 minus 50, add 50. So this is 1,450, 1,550. The time taken to run a race is this, corrected to three significant figures. Write down the upper limit for the time. Correct to three significant figures, so it's corrected to the nearest hundredth. If I want the upper or the lower limits or the upper and lower bounds, I add and subtract by 0.005. Add or subtract 0.005. They want the upper, so I'm going to add 0.005. You're going to find that it's 9.875. Question 28. In September, a coat costs $62.5. In October, the cost of the coat increases by 4%. In November, the cost of the coat increases by a further 14.6% of the cost in October. Find the cost of the coat after both increases. So it is $62.50 multiplied by the multiplier of increasing 4% is 1.04 multiplied by the multiplier of increasing 14.6% is going to be 1.146. All right. So, how did we do this? We remember that we add to 100. So adding it to 100 becomes 114.6. But dividing by 100 at the end is going to give you 1.146. These are the two multipliers. Multiplied by the original cost, then it's going to give you the final. So 62.50, let's do it. 62.50 multiplied by 1.04 multiplied by 1.146 equals, and SD, 74.49. $74.49. Here, the saying to that A and B are positive integers. A divided by B equals 0.37 corrected to two significant figures. B is a cube number less than 200. So a cube number less than 200, find a possible pair of values for A and B. Okay, they said that B is a cube number that is less than 200. So what am I supposed to do? Well, I'm going to say to you, for example, that 125 is a cube number that is less than 200. I can say also that we've got 64 is a cube number that is less than 200, and we've got also 27, we've got also 8. All of these, and we've got also maybe 1, by the way. All of these are what? Are cube numbers that are less than what? That are less than 200. So if I say to you here that B is any of them, so let's say, for example, A over 125, I'm saying that B is 125, for example, equals this. How can I find A? Well, A equals 0.37 multiplied by 125. This is going to give you A. So let's do it. 0.37 times 125 equals SD 46.25. All right, here the saying when 80 is increased by A%, the result is between 105 and 110. A is a multiple of 4. Find a possible value of A. Okay, so here I know, Mr., that increasing 50% of 80 is going to be 120 because 50% of 80 is 20, is 40. So increasing 50%, if I said 50%, that's going to lead to 120. But Mr., the 50 is not a multiple of 4, as they said, and 120 is not in the range that they requested. Why are you doing this? Yeah, I'm doing this just to know the range that I'm supposed to be around. I know mentally that it is 50% is going to give me 120. So I'm supposed to be below 50%. At least I'm just minimizing the range that I'm supposed to be working on. So let's try 40% exactly. 40%, if I try 40%, it is actually a multiple of 4, and at the same time, it is going to be less than 120. I'm not sure if it's going to be in the range that they're requesting or not. So let's see 40%. 40% of increase of 80. So it's 80 times the multiplier of increasing 40% is 1.40, which is just 1.4, equals 112 exactly. Okay, that's still not in the range. I need to go down. Yeah, Mister, can I say 39%? What is 39 a multiple of 4? No, 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 no. I'm sorry. So it's 36% increase, maybe. 36 increase. So it is 80 times 1.36 equals 108.8. That's the range that they requested. And A in this case is a multiple of 4. So it is 36% increase. All right, let me erase this. Let's continue. Oh, someone might ask me, Mister, will it be correct if I choose 32? Let's try 32. I'm curious to know if 32 will be in the same range or not. 32% equals. Oh, it's still in the same range. So you can say it is 36% or 32%. It is still in the range. And both of them are multiples of 4. Next, the distance between two cities is 17,000 kilometers corrected to the nearest thousand. Complete the inequality to show the limits of the distance. Well, the limits of the distance, that means here the nearest thousand, I need to minus 500, done. Add 500, so 17,500. The mass of a bag is 1 kilogram corrected to two decimal places. Find the lower limit. Mister, two decimal places, it means the nearest hundredth. That means what? That means that if I want the upper bound or the lower bound, I add or subtract 0 point. This is a point. Let me erase it and write a proper point. 0.0005, adding it or subtracting it. They wanted the lower limit, so minus 0.005. So it's going to be 0.995 kilogram. 1 minus this number is going to give you 0.995 kilogram. Let's continue. The mass of a baby is 4 kilograms. Each month, the mass of the baby increases 15% of its mass from the previous month. Find the mass of the baby after 2 months. So it is 4 times 1.15, the multiplier of increasing 15%. But this is for 1 month. They want it for 2 months. So it is 1.15 squared. The answer is going to be 4 times 1.15 squared equals, why is it not pressing? 5.29 exactly. So it is going to be 5.29 kilograms after 2 months. The length of a book is 25 centimeters to the nearest centimeter. Complete these statements about the length of the book. The lower limit for the length of the book is, and the upper limit is. So, okay, the one in the nearest centimeter, that means the nearest whole number. Add 0.5 minus 0.5. Lower limit is 24.5. Upper limit is 25.5. The price of laptop A increases by 12%. The price of laptop B decreases by 5%. Let's see about this. Tick to show which laptop is more expensive after these changes. All right, so laptop A, let's see here. We said it increases by 12%, so I'm going to do 650 times 1.12. But laptop B is 760 times 5% decrease 0.95 equals. Let's use the calculator. 650 times 1.12 equals 728. Let's do it. $728. The next one is what? 760 times 0.95 equals 722. So, which one is more expensive? Laptop A is more expensive. Show you how we worked it out? You show this. 35. A plant is 6.2 centimeters tall. The height of the plant increases 11% each week. They want how tall the plant will be after 2 weeks. 6.2 times increase 11%, that means 1.11. But they want after 2 weeks to the power of 2 equals, then you write the answer over here. All right, so 6.2 times 11, 1.11 squared. It is 7.63902. Message, am I supposed to write all of this? Well, yes, you're supposed to write all of this. 6.63902. 6.32. I can't even remember the number. 7.63. 7.63. I'm terrible at memorizing. Then 902, if I remember it right, 902. Yes. All right, let's do the next one here. Oliver and Mia attempt this question. Round this correct to 3 significant figures. Oliver says the answer is 0.028, while Mia says the answer is 0.0276. All right, only one of them is correct. Who is correct? Let's do it. That's question 36. I'm just typing something. All right, so here Oliver says this is the answer. If I want to round this number to 3 significant figures, let's find the third significant figure. The third significant figure here is the 6. Look at the digit after, strong or weak? It is weak, so the answer becomes 0.0276. This is the answer, corrected to 3 significant figures. All right, because the digit after it is weak. But what Oliver did, so what we know for sure now that Mia is correct. Why, they're not saying it to you why Mia is correct or explain why you chose Mia. No, they're saying to you why the other answer is not correct. So why Oliver is not correct. Because Oliver did what here? Oliver rounded to 2 significant figures. He looked at the 7 and looked at the digit after it. He said it's strong, so the 7 goes up. He rounded to two significant figures. So you can write here, Oliver rounded to two significant figures. Next, calculate this. All right, just to simplify it, and we're going to do it on the calculator, 1.78 minus 0.28 is going to give you exactly 1.5 squared. All is over 5. Can I do it on the calculator, Mr. From the very beginning? Yes, you can. They did not say show you working, so yes, you can. I put the fraction this way, and I write 0.6 plus, and then you open the brackets. 1.78 minus 0.28, then you close the brackets, and you say here squared over 5 equals 57 over 100, which is 0.57. This is the answer. Question 38. Eva thinks of a number. When she rounds the number correct to two significant figures, the answer is 43,000. When she rounds the same number corrected to three significant figures, the answer is 43,500. Complete the inequality. Okay. So here, let's just assume that the number is n. And here, to find the lower and the upper bound of the first information that they gave you here, she rounds the number correct to two significant figures, so the answer is 43,000. What is the lower and the upper bound? The lower bound here, minus 500, add 500, is the nearest thousand to this side. The two significant figures is the nearest thousand. So minus 500, 42,500. Add 500, 43,500. The other piece of information they're saying it to you, rounded to three significant figures, which means that the nearest hundreds. So minus 50, add 50. Minus 50 is 43,450. Add 50, so it's 43,550. Mister, they want only one inequality. Yes, exactly. Then you need to find the overlapping section, the section that is common in both of them. Imagine this here. You have from 42,500 until 43,550. There is one section that is common between them. Look at the numbers here. Here I got between 42,500 and 43,500. Is this common? Starting from where is common? Starting from 43,000 to 450 is common. Starting from 43,450, it is here. Oh, yes, mister. 43,450. That's the lowest number in this inequality, and it is common here as well. Okay. The upper, is this included in this inequality? Is this number in this range? Is 43,550 in this range? No, mister. Here, the greatest is 43,500. Let's go to the upper bound there. Is 43,500 in this range? Yes, mister. 43,500 is in between these two numbers. Yes. So it is in this range, so I take this for the upper bound. Again, all what I've done, I found the inequality for the first line, lower and upper bounds. I found the inequality for the second line, lower and upper bounds. I asked myself, is the lower bound this included in the other inequality? We said, no, mister, it is not included. Then I took this range, this number, because it's included in both inequalities. I took it. Then I went to the upper bound and I asked myself, is this one Included in the other inequality, we found no. Is this one included in the other inequality? I found yes. So it is 43,500. This is the combined inequality. Here are two properties about a number x. X is greater than 344. X rounds to 340 corrected to two significant figures. So corrected two significant figures, it becomes a 340. Write down a possible value of x. All right, no problem. They said it is greater than 344. So what is it going to be? Mister, if I say 345, which is only one greater. Oh, but if I round it to two significant figures, it will go to 350. They said they wanted 340. So how can I do this, semester? Then I added only one. I plussed only one to this. It didn't work. And they said x is greater. Yes. So I need to add smaller than one. If you add any decimal that is smaller than 1, let's say 0.1, 0.2, 0.5, whatever you want to add, the number becomes what? The number can be 344.5. If you round it to two significant figures, well, that's the second significant figure. It will be 340, mister. Yes. And it is greater than 344. So any number greater than 344 less than 345 will work. Any number that is bigger than 344, between 344 and 345 will work. Okay? Good. Let's continue. An old coin has a value of $5,000. The value of the coin increases by 2% every year. So 5,000 times increased by 2%, that's 1.02. It is 102%, but the value of 100 is 1.02. But they want you to calculate the value of the coin after 3 years. So what is the answer going to be? Let's do 5,000 times 1.02 cubed. Here it is, the cube, shift, x squared equals. The value of the coin is going to be 5,306.04. In 2022, 1 liter of fuel cost 1.50. 2023 increased by 20%. 2024 decreased by 10%. Calculate the cost of 1 liter of fuel at the end of 2024, which means after the two changes. So I'm going to do 1.50, the original price, multiplied by increased by 20% is 1.2. Then decreased by 10% is 0.9. What is the price? The new price going to be 1.50 times 1.2 times 0.9 equals, divided SD here. Well, it was 81 over 50, I guess. The calculator got closed. Again, 1.50 times 1.2 times 0.9 equals SD 1.62. $1.62. This is the new price. The number of people in a stadium is 24,300 corrected to the nearest 100. Find the smallest possible number of people in the stadium. Well, that means they wanted the lower bound. Nearest 100, that means I minus 50 from it. So 24,250. Question 43. A bike has a value of $8,000. The bike decreases by 5%. So it is 8. Calculate the value of the bike at the end of 3 years. It decreases 5% each year. So it is 0.95 to the power of 3. So it is 8,000 times 0.95 to the power of 3. cubed equals 6859. 6859. That's it. Thank you so much and see you in another video.